Welcome to MQuest TV, and I'm your host, Mimi. We welcome Mark Eadicicco as he celebrates his 10th anniversary as the proud proprietor of Practical Magick here at Staten Island. Mark is a Wiccan High Priest and offers his extensive abilities as a psychic and medium for readings and consultations. On the show today, I wanted to be able to sort of educate people, to give them an understanding of what Wiccan is, what it's all about, perhaps some of the history that's involved in it. Why does it get such a bad rap? You know, so I want to delve into a lot of these things with you today, okay? So when did you decide yourself that you wanted to become a Wiccan High Priest? I mean, what transpired that made you want to do this? Well,
I've always been drawn to the supernatural. Mm-hmm. I've always been drawn to a different path and a different way of life. Mm-hmm. And at the age of 3, I saw my first spirit standing at the edge of my bed. So in my head, the first thing that I wanted to do was go get my mom, because, you know, at the age of 3, you don't know what's going on, and you just see a man standing at the foot of your bed. You know, you don't think it's normal. So by the time I got her, the apparition was gone. And I call it an apparition because I was able to, since I'm small, I've always had to sleep with a television on. So I actually saw through the man. So I was actually able to see, I saw the man, and then I saw whatever was on TV at the time. Okay. And I explained what he looked like to my mom the next day, because, you know, at 3 I was hysterical, thinking there was a man in my room. I was afraid, and I explained what he looked like, and it was her dad who passed away when she was 9. You have to figure, now, I was 3. This had to be at least 20 years later. I never met him before in my life. I had no idea what he looked like, but she had a picture of him, which she showed me, and how I described him was exactly the man that I saw. Mm-hmm. My mom was also into this, and when I say into this, witchcraft, candle burning, so I feel I get a lot of my spirituality from her, and she allowed me to educate myself, to build on my own spirituality, as well as Lori Cabot, who is my teacher, and we'll get into her, up in Salem. But at a young age of 3, you know, most mothers would tell you, it's all in your head. You know, don't think about it. It's not really there. So when mothers come into me now with their little children, and they say, you know, my 3-year-old and my 4-year-old is seeing something in their room, I always tell them, don't disregard it. Let them develop it. Let them see. Because sometimes, you know, it could just be their imagination, or sometimes it really could be their spirit guides.
Exactly. Well, that's what people don't realize, that when you do that when they're at an early age, they're going to shut down from that point on.
Very true.
And this is a natural part of them, and a natural part of all of us, and we shouldn't be told that there's something wrong with this. I understand what you went through, because at an early age too, I was always very psychic, and I could always feel things. My mother could see spirits. In fact, she had a mediumistic type of abilities. So she would see spirits all the time. So like you, I had a mother also who didn't tell me, no, this wasn't happening. So I was able to, as I grew up, to further my education on it, so that I would understand it even more. You know, so that's great to have a mother like that.
It was easier for us.
Very open.
Much easier for us.
Absolutely. So you use that education and that experience, and somehow that brought you, I guess maybe it sparked something inside of you that said, you know, I really want to do something like, or something about this as I got older.
And then at the age of 19, we went on a family trip to Salem. That's where I met my teacher, because she's the official witch of Salem, Lori Cabot. And I got a reading by her. I waited hours, but it was worth every second. And I actually spoke to her today for a little bit before I did the interview with you today. And we can't believe it's been 22 years since I've known her. So I've been with her since I started. It's weird because I started with different ages. So at 3, I started seeing spirits. At 14, I started my first trips to Salem. At 19, I started my studies. So Lori wanted to make sure that I was ready. She just didn't throw me in a class. She wanted to make sure I was ready. So at 19, I was ready to start my learning and start developing. And her classes aren't easy. Lori's classes aren't easy. They're 3 years. You have to actually go through 3 years of training. So a lot of times when you see these stores pop up and they have no training behind them, it kind of ruffles my feathers a little bit, because
I don't blame you.
Yeah, anybody could say they're a hereditary witch. You know, it's inherited. To me, I'm very blunt. You know me for many years. And I always say the same thing. You know, an hereditary witch to me means nothing. You have to have the knowledge. And I was taught by the best. And I thank the goddess every day that I was able to be taught by Lori Cabot. And then Richie, something sparked in him when I took him up there. And he also trains with Lori. So you have 2 Cabot witches that run own practical magic. So
that's great.
Yeah, we're the only official witch shop on Staten Island, and we originated it on Staten Island. So we're the original witch shop on Staten Island.
That's great. That's wonderful. And you have a wonderful shop there. You have all these wonderful oils and candles and crystals and everything. I mean, I love walking into your shop because you have such a wonderful atmosphere when you walk in.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
We're going on 10 years this August, and we redid the shop. So it's a mecca. People don't want to leave once they come in. You know, it's just such a great feeling. And, you know, I want to thank Richie for that, because, you know, with me, I'm a Pisces, just like you. So, you know, a lot of times with me is I sit in the back and do readings all day long. Richie's a Libra, and his mind is always working. You know? So, with him, he'll say, Mark, I want to change something. And I'll say, all right, just do it. As long as I don't have to do it, I'm fine. I'm happy with it.
As long as it doesn't interrupt the flow that you're in, because that's important. That's important to a Pisces, and I don't think people understand that. Because when I'm at work, if anybody breaks my concentration, I get really, it upsets me. That's it. Because you're in that flow. You're in that flow.
Especially with readings and stuff like that too. A lot of times, I have a private reading room, and I do psychic readings and medium readings. And a lot of times when I'm doing a medium reading, let's say, and some people are talking too loud out here, I don't mean to come across as being nasty or rude or anything, but I will say, guys, you got to keep it down, because that disturbs my flow. There's a lot of gypsies out there, you know, they give real psychics a bad reputation. But for the half a dozen real witches and mediums out there, you know, it's not about having kids running around and, you know, doing a bunch of different things. It's about connecting with the universe, and that's what I try to do on a daily basis. I try to connect with the universe, and it really works. It works.
Yeah, when you're going through that, let's say, you know, for people who don't know what a psychic reading is, or perhaps what the experience might be, what's coming through, how does that work? I mean, so that people will have a better understanding.
Well, I'll always tell people what I do is I leave them in the room by themselves for a little while, and I let them shuffle the cards, but I'll leave the room. So this way they're not worried about what I'm doing. they're worried about shuffling the cards, and what happens is their spirit guides will come in, and their aura, their spirit guides, everything kind of mingles in with the cards. So when I come into the room, I don't know if I'm going to do a medium reading or a psychic reading. It could be either or, it could be both. So what happens is I'll tell the person, you know, you might have come to talk to your mom or your aunt, but on the other side, they might be doing something else. I have a very good success rate, knock on wood. I have to say I have a 99.9% success rate. Not trying to toot my own horn, but with medium readings and getting connecting with people's loved ones. And I didn't want to do it at first because it takes a lot out of me. But Richie pushed me to do it because, to me, I took the easy way out. When I first opened up, I only did tarot readings. And he's like, you have the gift, you have the ability. You know, there's people popping up like Teresa Caputo, which I love, and John Edwards, and, you know, they were connecting with people's loved ones. And I had that ability, but to me, it took so much out of me that at the end of the day, I said to myself, do I really want to do this on a daily basis? Well, let's just say it took off so well that people want medium readings continuously. But it comes from my heart, and I'm very humble that I'm able to help people. So I think it evolved. But we can thank Richie for that, pushing me in that direction. He's the pusher.
Please stop by Practical Magic, the witch shop of Staten Island, and say hi to Mark, and peruse his full line of spiritual and New Age products. Don't forget to book your very own psychic reading with Mark Eadicicco. You'll be glad you did. There will be many more segments with Mark on MQuest TV, so keep watching. Please visit MQuestMedia.com, where you can find articles, special events, and our monthly internet radio show Hidden Mysteries with my co-host, Reverend Maria D'Andrea.